Welcome to Out in It, where we discuss our hunting and fishing adventures, our successes, and our failures. Hey guys, welcome into a new episode of Out in It. Today it's our first hunting episode, so we dove into the world of fishing just a little bit, kind of took a break. Today we're gonna kind of dive into the world of hunting. I'm here with a good buddy of mine, a guy I really got to know. I coached you 14U baseball a few years ago, and um, you've obviously. How old are you now?
I'm still 14.
Oh well,
I
what were you, 12 at the time then, I guess?
think I was
11? 12?
13.
Yeah. You're in eighth grade now?
I'm in ninth. I'm a freshman.
Ninth grade. Okay. His name is Trestyn Smith, by the way. Tristan and I, uh, Tristan and I have kept in touch ever since then, and he's a big hunter. He really enjoys hunting, but um, like I said, we met. I was his baseball coach in 12U summer baseball, and the dude has a freaking cannon. Um, he's a lefty, and he has a freaking cannon from the left side, obviously, and pretty good outfielder as well. Um, but anyhow, obviously you got a love for baseball, but you have a love for hunting too. And
Definitely for
um,
sure.
so when did you realize that you like enjoyed hunting so much? Because I know that you hunted a little bit when I used to coach you, but now it seems like even between then and now, your love for hunting has just grown.
It definitely has. I started hunting with like mom or my parents when I was like probably 4 or 5. Just like going with them. I killed my first deer and turkey when I was 6. And then ever since then, I've just steadily grown, hunting more and more and learning more. But mainly the past 2 years, I started hunting by myself, and then that's when I started definitely going uphill because
Yeah,
I got a crossbow when I was like I was 13. No, I was 12. I got a crossbow and I started killing deer with that by myself. Then I just picked up a compound bow last year, killed a couple deer with it. And now I got that Hoyt. I traded off my PSE, upgraded a little bit, and I killed that buck. This you can see a little bit velvet hunt. It wasn't that big, but saw I had on camera at the time. But
yeah,
yeah, I just started hunting by myself and then still growing. But
yeah. Um, Man, it's awesome to get to hunt by yourself and probably to start learning, and you start watching videos, and I'm sure and start diving into things, and the things that you want to see when you're growing as far
yeah,
as like patterns and things like that. So
yeah,
obviously right now we're probably I'd say peak rut probably right now. Um,
yeah.
or
For
maybe
deer,
we're probably getting late peak rut too, I think.
I think we're later in it because for me, my dad said this, and everybody else that I know, muzzleloading season, like mid to late October, is when I like to be in the woods the most. It seems like the bucks are so ready to breed that they just none of the does are ready, but they're so ready they just start pushing does anyways and start fighting, and they're just a lot more active. I feel like because
Right.
like during this stage, I don't hardly see deer. Like I haven't seen deer hardly in like 3 days. I've seen a couple does, but I'm starting to think that the does might be on lockdown already. Like the bucks are locked down with does already, or something where I'm at. Because I
Um,
ain't seen like no buck movement at all.
yeah, see, I was convinced like that as well, and my camera had been dead. I've seen a lot of signs of does traveling around a little bit,
Right?
and by themselves still,
Yeah.
not being chased. But last week at work, we had two mature bucks chasing um, does, and then um, Friday night, was coming into town. I was in town, and
Right.
we were driving past the ballpark, and um, right there when you drive up the hill, like you're going up Ballpark Hill back
Right.
towards town a little bit. When you go back up Ballpark Hill,
Yeah.
um, or at the walking track, a doe crosses the road, and then a spike, and then a nice mature buck, and then a massive mature buck, and they're all chasing that one doe. And I was like, okay, and this is Friday, so I'm like,
That's
maybe it the rut's still happening, and I don't know if it got real hot the week that the rut they
yeah.
started rutting, and it got really really hot back into the 80s again, and it
Right.
seemed like it kind of just killed it, like they just
Mm,
quit. And
yeah.
then
That's
so I don't know, but I mean, I sent you that picture of that mature buck that
right.
I have, and he's on a scrape line. He was checking a scrape tonight, and then he started feeding, of course. But anyhow, so obviously you've picked up some things in the last couple of years that you think are, probably some things that have made you a little bit more successful. What are a couple of the things that you think have have helped you to grow in the last couple of years?
I really just gotta find new spots and like mainly spots that you think people probably wouldn't hunt that much, like overlooked places or like log. I like to look for log places. Like this one place I hunt, it's like super thick until it opens up in like just a 30-yard little zone. Like that's all there is. But most of it's just super thick, nasty stuff, and then that's where I find all my deer
Right.
at.
Man, that makes sense too. That's crazy. Have you? I'm sure you've watched the hunting public quite a bit.
Oh, I just got done watching their new one.
Yeah, man. So a lot of the time, especially in the Ozarks and in Missouri, and when they get on that public land, a lot of the place that they like to go is like you're talking about in that real thick stuff. And
Right.
when they get in that thick stuff, they always seem to have success.
Yeah.
They always seem to be they always seem to find some kind of success. So I think there is something to that, and um, I don't know if it's just they feel safe with all the cover or what, but um, obviously I'm no expert on deer hunting, man. I
No,
just like to
me,
talk about
me
it.
either.
I just would truly enjoy it, and there are people that kill all kinds of massive deer. I don't have a bunch of massive deer on my property. I just
Okay.
I just enjoy hunting. I just enjoy being in my deer stand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel it. That's what I'm like too. Like this year, I've seen a lot of deer, but I have not had like the deer I'd usually have on camera.
Yeah,
Last year I had a bunch of really good deer on camera, and then this year's just I ain't had nothing hardly.
yeah,
The biggest deer I've seen, I've killed them both. So I'm already
right.
banged up.
Man, that's all right though. Things will change, and it just depends. I don't know, and obviously that's something we had talked about too. Is that you were wanting to think about possibly hunting more public land next year. Um,
Yeah,
so what is your plan there? Are you wanting to try to get in there early bow season? I mean, I feel like that's when you probably have the least amount of people
that's
hunting
yeah,
um, that public land here is obviously early bow season.
right. Yeah, I do a little gun hunting like right now, and then
Mm,
doing the youth hunt. But usually I'm just with my bow. And this, uh, it was early October. Me and my buddy, I don't know if you know him, Connor Freeman, but we was
I don't
hunting some. Yeah, we was hunting some public land in '56, and it was like they were starting to get a little ruddy. But we would walk forever and just like find there'd be all kind of deer sign. It's like the further you walk in, I feel like the better chances you got of killing a
know.
good one. So I
Right,
think that's what I'm gonna try to
when
do.
they're not so used to people, or there's not a lot of people getting back there to them.
Right.
That makes a lot of
Especially
sense.
during
They're not
bow
getting a lot of
season.
pressure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Said especially during bow season, and that's kind of what I do with the private places that I got. Is it kind of butts up to public land. So right now it's really good because all the pressure from gun season on the public land that my private piece butts up to, all the all them pressured deer pushing into private where it's not getting hunted as much, and it's
Right.
just you're seeing a lot more deer. But sometimes I'll just get up in that thick stuff, and I feel like they don't even come out most of the time.
Right. Yeah,
But
man, and it's tough too. A lot of the things that you're looking for, cover and water and food and
right,
things like that, and then deer. I mean, you've seen the videos of how deer move over like a progression chart of how they move.
yeah,
Like most of the time, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
yeah. Like right now, if you had a deer on camera, say you had a deer on camera in like October, and he showed up like every night, and then as November comes on, that deer could be God knows where, and then you
Right.
and then you might not see him again until or after rut where they're back on food and trying to build their bodies back up.
Right, and that typically is when you get those deer that you had in, depending on when.
Summertime, like summer
Yeah,
marksman. Yeah.
yeah, when you had your cameras out in the summer that they were running their feeding patterns, and
Mm-hmm.
those deer disappear for most of the time, and then you get back later on in the year and they're back, and you're just like, man,
Yeah.
where have y'all been?
Yes.
Ruts happened, and I haven't seen any of these deer, and now I got all these other bucks that I haven't seen all year long, and now y'all are back.
Yeah. That's like there's like 5 stages. There's like summer stage where you're getting consistent deer, and then September hits, like mid to late September, like right when bow season starts. You might get a couple new bucks, and then mid October they start not being consistent at all. Like they'll come in every couple of weeks or whatever, and then October you're probably not going to see them. Like the deer you've been seeing in September and October, you're probably not going to see them deer unless you're in their home range where there's a lot of does. And then
Right.
after that, like December, probably mid December through then, they're back on food, trying to find food.
Right, and then, you got maybe a few weeks, and then they're gonna lose their antlers after that.
Yeah, so like you got to kill them in that. There's certain times that your chances are a lot better. Like me, I hate hunting the rut. Like right now, I do not like. I don't even like hunting it. I like it when I can find good deer on camera and then have them patterned enough to get on them instead of just sitting out there and just might see a deer or not.
I understand that too, because that probably feels more like hunting because you have a pattern, you're putting a game plan together, you're trying to
Right,
execute the game plan that you put together. But in the same sense too, though, there is a lot of fun of going out and
right,
there's a buck cruising and you see him and you grunt at him a couple of times and get him to stop, and then you rattle at him and get him to come to you, or keep grunting at him, get more aggressive with him,
yeah,
snort wheeze at him, whatever, and get him to come in. Man, I had a buck cruising on me last year, during gun season, and um, I my stand is set up. I've showed you the kind of the picture.
yeah,
It's the same area, same exact
right,
spot, and my stand is set up in we call them a swag. It's what a lot of people around here call them, but um, a canyon is what a lot of people would call it, or a bottleneck is what a lot of people call it. It's a kind of a valley between two ridges,
right,
and at the head of that valley, they have a pond that they work to,
mm,
and um, at the end, like it's kind of like two. I call it like fingers. The ridges run out and they round off
right,
away from that pond, and the deer work around those ridges and come up in there, and then
yeah,
they say, and then they'll work up on top at the very end of the ridges. Sometimes they'll come up on top,
right,
but either way, they run their scrape line right through that valley, and um, I've hunted there for, like I said, this is the second year that I've actually hunted down in that spot.
right,
But last year I was down in there and there was a buck cruising. He wasn't grunting. He was just cruising. I mean, you know how they are, just
right,
nose down,
mm-hmm,
just trotting, not really not really slowing down for anything.
yeah,
And he had run through there one time, um, and he turned around and went back the other way, and I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna get a shot at him. I'm never gonna see him again. He came
Right.
back, and I'd grunted at him the first time and didn't get him checked up. So he came back the second time, and he was running across the top of the hill, and I couldn't get him to slow down. And I finally just hit I have that, the rattling bag. I
Mm.
hit that little rattling bag, and I got him to stop. And he stopped, and he came from the top of the hill about halfway down the hill and worked into a hole in the trees broadside. And I just was like, I hollered. I was like, "Matt, Matt, Matt," finally got him to stop. He stopped, and dude, I'll never be so mad at myself. But I did not shoot that deer.
You
I'm
did?
not gonna lie to you. I missed. I
Oh,
missed. I missed big time. But
dang it.
um, I mean, I had a broadside shot at probably 80 yards, and um, which it's a that's my fault for shooting a gun that I hadn't shot all year, and with iron sights, hadn't practiced with. You just can't do that.
Right.
But anyhow, nonetheless, it was super cool to actually rattle one in. And
Yeah.
so while there is like a lot of appeal in, the game plan aspect of patterning the deer and stuff, it is still pretty cool to like execute that part of it too and being like, okay, like I know this time of year there is not a pattern that I'm just gonna
Right.
have to, I'm either gonna have to I'm gonna have to go find sign and set up there and see if I can find some action, and then try to slow one down by rattling it or grunting at it or whatever. Or
Right.
I'm gonna sit in my stand and hopefully one cruises by and I can piss him off a little bit. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah. One thing I try not to look as much for bucks right now as I'm just trying to find does.
Right.
Like, really, if I'm hunting a spot, I know there's a lot of does, and even if I'm not seeing buck sign, I'm like, there's does here. One of them's gonna be hot. Like,
Right.
so I'm hunting that way, and then if not, I'm just during gun season. I'm out walking around. Like, I'm not sitting. If I ain't seen nothing at about 8, I'm getting up and moving spots somewhere where I'm finding deer.
Man, I went down in the woods the other day and I sat in my stand, and I have been meaning to change the batteries on my camera. I think me and you talked about this last week, and I'd forgotten
I
again
did
and
the
again
same
and
thing.
again. And I get down there and I noticed that the scrape that had been there hadn't been touched as much as what it had been. I mean, it was still
Right.
cleaned out, but it wasn't as noticeable as what
You
it
can
had
tell
been.
the dirt's been a little getting dry and whatnot.
Right. And
Yeah,
so I took I took a piece of wood because I don't do it with my shoes or anything.
me neither. I
I
don't do
found
it with my foot or
I
nothing.
found a stick. So I took that stick and cleaned it back out. Well, today I went down in there and I got a little estrus on the bottom of my boots, and I was walking through there, got the estrus on the bottom of my boots, and walked through there, and I got over that scrape, and I took just a very small drop of that estrus and dropped it in that scrape. Just, I mean, it's a very small drop,
Yeah,
just enough for it to look like a doe may have stopped in and checked in. But one encouraging thing for me was, it's like, even though I didn't have a camera, dude, there was a massive uh, uh, hoof print in there from a deer, and I was just like, okay, that,
right.
there's been a buck here
Yeah,
ever since I cleaned it out, and I cleaned it out on Saturday. So
yeah,
it made me feel a lot better that even though I hadn't had my camera there, see that, and then it was like, okay, there's a comforting feeling in knowing, like, I was worried that I did the wrong thing, like the rut might be over, cleaning this scrape back out may have
right.
something would have been, just run something off. But no, that buck, if he was standing in it, that means he was checking it, and there's a licking branch above it, so he was checking his licking branch. It just made me feel 10 times better for sure.
Right. Yeah, I got. It's not doe nitrous, but it's like it's buck pea and like the tank spot, whatever you call it. And I
Yeah,
was making a mock scrape, and dude, there was deer hitting it. Like, this was October, and there was deer hitting it like every week.
yeah,
It's just kind of cool when you make your own scrape. It's like I ain't got a camera on or nothing, just seeing deer hit
right.
it. But yeah,
Um, So another pretty cool thing you got going is other than you put your brother on a, was that his first deer?
Not that was his first deer with a bow. That was his second deer ever though.
Yeah, you put him on his second deer ever, first deer with a bow,
Yeah,
um, which was pretty exciting, probably for him and for you.
yeah.
Um,
I think I might have been more excited than he was.
yeah, man, I don't know if it's just me. I coached him too this year. He just doesn't seem like he gets excited about it too much.
He's I don't know. Once you live with him, he'll talk your ear off, but he's excited for sure. We wasn't
Yeah,
excited, and he's pumped up about it.
he gave a little fist bump for sure.
Yeah,
Anyhow, so having said that, um, do you you got a YouTube channel
yeah.
where you're going to be trying to film some hunts and things like that. What's the name of that channel?
Painted fletchings outdoors.
Painted Fletchings Outdoors, guys. So he's trying to get some content out. He truly enjoys this, and I think that it would be great to support him, and especially a young kid like him who truly loves it. To support somebody like that who's just getting started out. So, if you watch this and you would like to see some content and help support a young hunter who truly loves it, go check out Painted Fletching Outdoors.
Yeah, I got my youth hunt buck on there. I got that one on camera. The quality's not good because I didn't have nobody filming for me. I got one of them Tacticams, and I ain't got the mount to put on my gun, so I just like zip tie it. I got like a bunch of zip ties, so I just zip tied on my gun or like my bow stabilizer. But
Yeah,
this buck come in is when was youth like November 4th, 3rd,
yeah,
whatever that was. But he come in, I could hear him down. I was sitting where these like 4 points come together. That's what I also look for if I'm hunting somewhere like where the points come together. That's always I see a lot of deer there. But he was on this side of me, and I was sitting on the ground. He was like down in a holler, and I just hear like just the loudest grunt I've ever heard. And then I hear them take off up the hill, and I can't see them, but they circle around to this other. You'd say finger, like where they
yeah,
leap off. And he comes in chasing this doe, and I can see he's a good buck. And the doe comes in perfect. I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna come right here to me, and he did. He come right by me, and I'm like, Barrett, 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 and he wouldn't stop. And we went up the hill, and I'm like, oh, he's gone forever. I ain't gonna see him again. And then when you know it, the doe comes back around, and then just they come through a bunch of thick stuff. So and he stopped in this like it was kind of a thicket, but I had like a little opening, and I guess when I shot, I could I could see a silhouette. I was like, all right, I can fit one through there. But I guess when I shot, it hit a tree or like a little limb or something, and it deflected it. And I guess it hit him in like the back hand part. But I mean, he didn't take it. Must have hit one of them main arteries because he didn't take it 60 yards. He went up there and piled up.
I'll
But
be
he's
damned.
a mainframe six. Like he's a pretty big six. And then he had like a split. I wouldn't say split eye guard, but he had like an extra eye guard or something coming off, little kicker.
Yeah,
I ain't got him ear mounted yet. He's still hanging out.
and you're doing that's another thing too. You're doing these Euro mounts, aren't you?
Yeah, I did this one. These two I didn't. That was my first bow buck ever, and then
Yeah,
last year's muzzleloader deer. But this one I did by myself. I
yeah,
don't have a
yeah,
pressure washer, is the thing. So I gotta
yeah.
like let
So
the bugs eat it all first, and then get all I can.
yeah,
But
man. I mean, that looks awesome. So anybody who's trying to get a Euro mount done in North Central Arkansas, especially Stone County, um, hit him up.
yeah,
He's trying to. I think you're trying to get a side hustle going with that, aren't you?
yeah, I got Facebook. Any Trestyn Smith, just look me up on anywhere, and y'all can DM me, message me, whatever y'all want. And I need to
And
get
I'll
me a car.
post links to your page there
Right,
um, when I post this video to make it easier for everybody. I'll tag your uh, YouTube page in there as well, so people
right.
can go. And then also, if you don't mind to comment on it as well, maybe people can go check out your content as well.
Yeah, I got you.
But
Yeah, I need me a
um,
pressure washer. That's the we had a pressure washer and it's leaking oil and it won't work. So like now, I just like I kind of let it hang for a while, get let the bugs eat it out, get all the nasty stuff off of it, and then I bolt it, and then I put that peroxide stuff, and then bleach it and let it sit in the sun. And it turned turned out all right.
yeah,
My
man,
buddy,
it looks great. I literally know zero about it. I've seen a lot of people doing it lately. I think a lot of people are definitely doing it for a side hustle because I think Euro manning has become more popular just because how expensive shoulder mounts are,
right?
and I think a lot of people would definitely give you some business. But
Yeah,
I've
that's
seen
why it's hard to get into it. Is because everybody else is like, yeah, let's go do Euro mountain. Like, and then it's hard to get into it because then everybody knows a guy that's doing it.
right, but that's all right, man. I mean,
Right,
that's the thing is if you're coming from like a genuine place and you have a good following of people, especially with your channel and stuff, and you're doing that, I think it would be a good opportunity for you. I think you'd have a lot of people who would want to support you,
right. Yeah, I feel that.
and
Yeah,
I will send mine with you for sure. So
right. Appreciate that.
no problem, man. Man, if you've got any other hunting stories that you want to tell, go right ahead.
You you do any turkey hunting last year?
Man, I have not done any turkey hunting ever, actually.
Really? Dude, we
Yeah,
tried to
so
go.
if you want to go sometime, man, you're more than welcome. I've got a place over there. I've got we've got some turkey out there now. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'd be willing to go out there and see what it's about.
Dude, I'll call you burn in. I'm thinking about doing competitions
Yeah,
with my mouth call.
really.
I I lost my mouth calls because my vest. I don't know where my vest is at right now, but I'm thinking about doing competitions. Like I got a pretty nasty cut. I can gobble on it. I can do. I mean, I basically live with one in my mouth since I was like 6, trying to watch it on videos and trying to be like Dad and everybody, Michael Waddell, everybody,
Yeah,
all the main turkey killers.
yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'll have to call you. I'll call you one in. We can record it, do whatever.
Yeah, dude, that's something I'm working on right now too. I want to get more content out underneath kind of the out in it,
Right?
whatever you want to call it, the name. I want to start doing more
Are you gonna
recording,
have a
especially
separate channel, or are
do
you
what
just
now?
gonna be like a content channel or and a podcast channel or what?
I'll probably keep all of it under this channel, but I'll probably name the actual hunting because I want to do some fishing stuff too. But I'll probably split it up. Like I'll post it all underneath this channel, but name it different things if that makes any sense.
Right. I get what you're saying. Like have a different series for everything.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's kind of tough right now is I'm tagged out on bucks. I'm like, I don't know what to post.
Right. Well, man, I'm working on getting a saddle right now, but if you ever want to come hang and film hunts, dude, like if you want to be in on a hunt and just film it and hang out, I mean, feel free.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
I got a climber, and I got another ladder stand over there that we could probably take out and set up. We could make something happen. I'm sure.
Right. You got a bunch of does, or you just mainly bucks? You
Um,
do doe management, or you just shooting bucks mainly?
we got a few does. We don't really have a whole there's the biggest group of does that we have live in my like all right, setting my stand tonight, for example, for 2 hours because I barely like I know it's kind of like I said, I'm pretty sure it's like peak rut. If I was guessing, I'd say peak rut. That's where I
Yeah.
think it is. Either that or like you said, they have the does like locked down. One or the other. But
Right.
if I'm guessing, that's what I'm saying. It's peak rut. But I'm pulling back down to the house tonight on the four wheeler, and I get off the four wheeler to go let my parents' dogs out of the house for a second, because they're out of town. And about 15 does cross the dirt road.
Golly.
And I was just like sitting in the stand for multiple hours or 2 hours and saw nothing. But there's
Yeah,
15 does right there,
that's how it goes.
you
That's
know.
the
But I
reality.
mean, which is crazy because those same 15 does have been there, and there's no bucks on those does. I don't understand that.
It's I don't know. Seems like when they're in groups, there's like never bucks with them. Like if you see a buck with doe, it's like they're by themselves.
See, and I've heard that too. Like I've heard that mature bucks just lock one doe down.
Right. And I think they might start off like if you have a group of does and one's in extras, and I think they will push that doe so much like all the other does, just like I'm out of here. Like they'll just start dogging that one doe until
Right,
they get her bred or whatever.
right. Well,
But
dude,
right now it's
I know it's getting pretty late. I know it's a school night for you.
yeah,
But I appreciate you hopping on. Hopefully we'll have some more success in the future.
yeah. I
And
appreciate
you'll
you
come a
having me,
few
man.
more hunts, and we'll have some more stuff to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, dude. Hey, once again, Painted Fletching Outdoors. Y'all go check that out. And then Trestyn Smith on Facebook. If you need a Euro mount done, hit him up. Let him take care of you.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Thanks for joining, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.